Hi dear students. So in this class we will discuss about P block elements, second future. Already you have studied the S block elements in first PUC itself. So in the second year, P block elements we are going to study now. So before going to this, what are P block elements? What are P block elements? So what we call this P block elements? So here group 13 to 18 group elements are called group elements are called P block elements. From group 13 to 18 elements are called as P block elements. And how these 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 groups are classified? How they are classified? That is based on the number of electrons which are occupied in the P orbitals. That we will see now. Students, just consider this x-axis, y, where this is z-axis, right? So you know already in the p orbital there are how many orbitals are there? Px, py, pz, right? There are 3 orbitals are there in p orbitals, right? If it is, this is one orbital, this is another orbital, this is another orbital, right? So this is called as p orbitals, in which the 3 orbitals in which each of the orbitals which occupies 2 electrons. How many electrons? 2 electrons. Totally 6 electrons. How many electrons? 6 electrons. For example, you can see in the P block elements we have classified into the different group 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18, right? So now we will see how these 13 group of the element can be classified. For example, you can see there 13 group. So first element is boron. What is boron? In which boron is having atomic number as 5, in which electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, here it is 2p1, right? This also we can be write as the helium, in which 2s2, here it is 2p1. Means in a p orbital there is a 1 electron. How many electrons? So 1 electron. If it is 1 electron, here this is going to be take the 1 electron in the 1 orbital, right? So each of the orbital occurs having the capacity to have the 2 electrons. Here is 1. So hence the p orbital which contains the outermost electron is 1 at the p, this, and hence this is called as 13 group elements. So that is this boron 13 group, because 1 electron is present here. Suppose if you take, so you can see there, so that is a 13 group in which boron. If you go for carbon, in which atomic number is 6, so electronic configuration is here helium 2s2 and 2p2. Here you can see, dear students, here in p orbital there are 2 electrons. If it is 2 electrons, what happened? If it is 2 electrons, or we can show here, okay? 2 electrons, Px and Py. If it is 2 electrons, what happens? This will be having in the group of 13, 14 group. You can see there 14 carbon, that is carbon family, right? So next we can go for carbon. After nitrogen having the atomic number is 7. So in which electronic configuration is helium 2s2 and hence it is 2p3. Next here number of electrons which are present in the p orbital is 3. So here this is going to get the another electron. And these are the elements which are belongs to the what group? Of nitrogen family, that is 15th group. Which group? 15th group. So likewise you can see the 16th group. So oxygen, in the oxygen 8. So electronic configuration here it is helium 2s2 and hence here it is 2p4. Here number of electrons which are present in the p orbital is 4 and hence this is going to be occupies in the which group? So 13, 14, 15, 16th group. So this is how where we have been classified the different groups in the what? P block elements 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So this is where we can be classified the different groups in the P orbitals. Okay, dear students, now we will go for the P block elements from group 13 to 18 group. Till now we have discussed how the elements which are going to be classified based on the number of electrons which are entering into the 3 orbitals, in which each of the orbitals which occupies the 2 electrons, right? So now we will see how these P block elements can be remembered very easily for your competitive exams like KCET, NEET and JEE. Okay, fine. Tricks to remember. Tricks to remember. P block elements. Tricks to remember P block elements for NEET exam. Okay, how can you remember these elements for your NEET examination? Okay, this is very important, dear students. If you remember the elements, then the topic will be very easier for you. Otherwise, this will be a very difficult thing for you. Okay, fine. So probably you are going to get the questions for your competitive examinations. You may get 3 questions or 4 questions. Sometimes you may get 5 questions also for the NEET examinations, JEE and the NEET. 3 to 5 questions, whereas KCET sometimes you will get 3 to 4 questions. It is based on, okay, it is going to change the ratio. So now we will have the different groups already what we have discussed, the based on the number of electrons which are entered into the different orbitals, right? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So now we will have the one by one 13th group of the element. How do we remember it? Very easily. 13th group. What group? 13th group. So here in this 13th group we can remember very easily by 13th group. So here it is boron, aluminium, gallium, indium. Next one is thallium. Dear students, see how can you remember this one is? Okay, all students can remember only 17 and 18 group except these elements because it's very difficult to remember sometimes. You are getting confused in your examination. Now I will tell you the easy tricks to remember the P block elements in the examination. Here it is. You can remember this one is B as a brother. This one is as a Andrew. Brother Andrew got intelligent. Brother Andrew got intelligent thought. Is Brother Andrew got intelligent thought is called as boron, aluminum, gallium, indium and thallium. This is what we have discussed already. The number of electrons in the outermost orbital phase what 1. So it is occupies 13. So fine. So now we will go for an different 13th or 14th group. 14th group. So 14th group. How can you remember these elements? So after boron, beryllium, boron, next is carbon family. So can sun go to lift? Lift means Pb. What is Pb? Students, you can see here. How can you remember this? Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, and lead. Tin. So here, can you remember in this way? Siemens can sun go to left. Can sun go to left? 2 means tin. Okay. So this is the word you can remember the very easily these 14 group 14 carbon family elements in this way. So next we will discuss the 15 group elements. If you remember this type of the hints, definitely this can help you to get a very good marks in your competitive examinations. Fine, dear students. Now we can see 15th group after boron, carbon. Next one is nitrogen family. Nitrogen family, right? 15th nitrogen family. How can you remember this one is by using the hints? Nobody passed away. Nobody passed away. Answer back. Answer back. What's this one? Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Nobody. What is? Nobody passed away. Nobody passed away. Answer andre antimony. Back means bismuth. Nobody passed away. Answer back. So this is all. Okay, fine. So we will go for the next 16th group now. 16th group. How do you remember the 16th group elements? You can see 14, 15, next 16. Boron, carbon, nitrogen. Next one is oxygen. Oxygen family. Right? So this one easily you can remember by oh, someone should tell me the poem. Oh, someone should tell me the poem. Okay? So oh means oh, exclamatory sentence. Oh, someone should. Oh, someone should tell me the poem. Oh, someone should tell me the poem. Fine. So next, 17th group of the element. 17th group is very easy. Everyone can tell, right? Because this is very easy group, 17th. So already you know this one: chlorine, bromine, iodine, and acetylene. Dear students, you can see here fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine is called as halogen elements. Okay, except this acetylene, because this is highly radioactive element in which does not obey as halogen, and hence it is not an applicable in daily life. So here this can be easily remembered by fish can never breathe. Fish can never breathe in air. This is how way you can remember very easily in a proper way. Okay. Next, 18th group. So 18th group, how can you remember? 18th group. Here, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Okay. So 18 group elements. How can you remember? HE means Hema, NE means Neela, AR means Au, KR means Karina, Xerox randomly, Xerox randomly. So Hema, Neela or Karina get xeroxed randomly. This is the easier way to remember all the elements in the P-block elements, and definitely this can be helpful for our competitive examinations, because you may get questions from in the P-block elements any group itself. Okay, if they ask you for electronegativity, if they ask you for atomic radius, if they ask you for ionization energy between any of the element in the group, so you should be in a position to answer. If you know this group order, then definitely it can help you to get the correct answer in the examination. This is the easier way to remember all the P block elements in a group wise by remembering these words. Okay, just to remember these words, and definitely when you get a question from the particular group, just you recall the group by using these words, and definitely useful for your competitive examinations. Thank you, dear students.